your boy Tev the Artist, go to hardest and G's on B's. Now, before I even get into the content of this video, what I'm going to need you guys to do is to hit that like button, and please do not forget to hit subscribe. It's very important that you do that if you guys want all EDM news that's not biased. So if you guys been keeping up with the channel, you already know how we talked about Homebass, the Orlando situation a few weeks ago. That Homebass Orlando, like if it was a scam, fans left without hotel rooms or refunds. Got the whole EDM community talking, right? And people were tagging me left and right like, thank you for speaking up and blah, 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 blah. And honestly, man, to be honest, yeah, I spoke up, but I really didn't say anything bad. Everything was just pretty much out in the public, right? But after weeks of silence, you know, Homebass, they finally broke it. Not one, not two, but 3 official statements. We got apologies, refund talk, and full-on venue change announcement. So today we're going to go through exactly what they said, what it really means, and how Brian Thomas might avoid catching a case if he plays this smart, and what happens if he doesn't. Let's start with the first message, the big purple post titled, "We want to take a moment to speak directly from the heart." They open with the kind of corporate apology you would expect after a disaster, basically saying, we know people are confused, we're sorry for the silence, and we didn't mean to ghost. They said there were unexpected complications with their original venue and a breakdown in communication. Now that's PR speak for something went left and we weren't prepared to explain it. But I'll give them this, they did own up to it. They said that they didn't want to rush out uncertain details or make promises they couldn't keep. They claimed the goal moving forward is better transparency, better planning, and better communication. Now, whether that's genuine or just damage control, time will tell. Because let's be real, fans have been sitting in refund limbo for months, right? People lost real money, some missed EDC week plans, and others straight up felt scammed. So while the words did sound nice, they did. Execution is what matters. The first post feels like Homebass was trying to reset the tone, rebuild trust, and say, hey y'all, we're still in here, don't cancel us. You get what I'm trying to say? Now here's where it gets spicy, right? In the second post, Homebass addressed the Labor Day weekend disaster, the one where people couldn't check in because hotels didn't get paid, right? They admitted that there was a check-in error, which is a polite way to say the system is collapsed, right? They apologized again and said they were processing refunds directly from their side to buyers who purchased through the ticketing platform. Refunds are being issued from room plus tax only for the nights stayed. They said they'll notify everyone once refunds are processed, and they've already begun the process. Now that's important because this is the first official confirmation that refunds are actually being handled, right? Before this, it was all rumors and DMs, but let's break down the fine print. They said, we're asking those who haven't received it to remind others. That line low-key means this ain't gonna be automatic. You might need to follow up, email, maybe even dispute if it drags out. So I really hope that you guys really paid attention to that. So the intent is good, but the delivery, still TBD if you ask me, right? We'll know it's real when the first few people post screenshots of refund confirmations, which I think I've seen one already. I think on Brian's Facebook page. I've been going on his page frequently to try to get updates. I think I've seen like one refund. I think it was a partial. I don't know if it was full, but I did see it. And you guys can go check for yourself. I think it's still there. So if you go on this Facebook page, you will see that. But anyways, like now this is where things might turn around, right? Homebass dropped the big news they're moving into a new resort in Orlando. They said the location will be revealed early next week, which they posted this, I believe, last week sometime. Like I think it was like Thursday or Friday or something like that. And it's got all the bells and whistles, multiple pools, hot tubs, on-site food, and upgraded rooms. They even said everyone's getting the automatic upgrade. So that sounds absolutely fucking phenomenal if you ask me. Like king rooms become 1 bedrooms, double queens become 2 bedrooms, junior suites become 3 bedrooms, presidential suites turn into presidential 4 bedrooms. If you ask me, they fucking snap. That's just my opinion. I don't know if they're like gaslighting it, but that shit sounds raw as fuck. That's them trying to flip the crisis into a glow up, which they are. Like, hey, we fumbled, but here's a better experience. That's what they're doing. I mean, they know that they have to do that, right? So the new venue is supposedly just minutes from the original, so transportation and logistics stay the same. And for anyone who still doesn't trust it, they're offering refunds within 2 weeks if you don't want to stick around. Now that's actually smart. That kind of transparency can calm the crowd if it's legit. That's if it's legit, right? I gotta say that. So if all of this is real and they could deliver the venue, then Brian Thomas might dodge a massive fucking bullet. Because he's in some deep shit right now. I'm not gonna lie to you. Right? So let's talk about the big question everyone's been DMing me about. Yo, Tev, is Brian going to prison for this? I keep getting these fucking messages, bro. So here's the truth, and I kind of explained this in my last video, guys, but I'm going to explain it again, right? If he really has a new hotel deal locked in, refund systems running, a communication back open legally, that's damage control. That's not a crime, right? To get hit with fraud, prosecutors would have to prove he took people's money knowing he couldn't deliver and never intended to. Does that make sense, you guys? I'm gonna say it again. To get hit with fraud, prosecutors would have to prove he took people's money knowing he couldn't deliver and never intended to, right? But if he's actively trying to fix it, moving it to a new venue, issuing refunds, that falls under mismanagement or breach of contract, not criminal fraud. Does that make sense, you guys, right? So if Brian makes good on these promises, he avoids the orange jumpsuit. I think it's actually blue in Florida. But he'll take financial and reputation losses, sure. But that's better than jail time, right? However, if the refunds never come through, or if that new resort turns out to be a smoke and mirrors, that's when things go from civil to criminal. Yep. At that point, you're talking about deceptive business practices or even wire fraud, depending on how payments were handled, right? So this month and everything, he's got one shot to either rebuild the brand or become a cautionary tale in EDM history, which I'm pretty sure that he does not want. Now, y'all know me. I don't pick sides. I don't pick facts, right? On one hand, like, you know, fans got every right to be mad. They do. They pay for a service they didn't get. On the other hand, I've seen enough in the industry to know that behind every scam headline, there's usually a mix of chaos, ego, and poor planning. It does happen. I've been in the industry for about over a decade, I should say, right? Sometimes it's not malicious, it's just unprepared people trying to run a big operation, right? But the key difference between a comeback and collapse is accountability. If Brian truly learned from this and makes things right, people might forgive. If not, the brand is cooked. Cooked, right? And at the end of the day, Homebass was supposed to be more than a hotel party. It was a community hub, right? The place for EDM fans to link up for EDC, network, vibe, and recharge. So if they actually rebuilt that energy with honesty this time, maybe, just maybe, there's a second chance waiting. In which I honestly hope it does. Because I'm going to be real with you guys. I love Homebass. Every single time I went to EDC, I always went to Homebass afterwards. That was always my go-to. Because I'm not going to lie, Brian does know how to throw a party. He's been doing this shit for years. I've always respected what he does. So I just hope that it really does fall through. I actually might go myself. If everything goes as planned, I might still go myself. If you're watching this wondering whether it's still trust Homebass, here's your checklist, right? Refund proofs. Look for people posting screenshots of actual refunds received. Venue reveal. Like, that's if they don't announce the new resort by next week. That's a red fucking flag. I'm being real with y'all. That's a red flag. Hotel partnership. So when the new property publicly acknowledged the event, that's the green light. Like when they actually acknowledge it. So be on the lookout for that. Once they actually announce where the actual venue is going to be. Communication consistency, right? If they go silent again, you already know what time it is. Y'all should already know, right? Transparency isn't about saying sorry. It's about showing the receipts, right? But anyways, man, I just wanted to touch up on it, everything, what they posted, and hopefully everything does fall through. I'm not a type of person to pray on somebody's downfall. I really hope that Brian pushes this shit through, man. But anyways, man, what do you guys think? Do you guys think Brian's gonna pull through, or do you think he's gonna ghost you like my father? My father didn't really ghost me. But anyways, if you guys like the content on this channel, make sure that you guys like, comment, and subscribe. And you already know the vibes. It's your boy Tev, the artist, go the hardest. GTH. You already know the scope. Skirt.